JM Youth Forum, a place where we shape the next generation, a place where we discuss issues like relationships, career and business advice, education and religious matters, and much, much more. So sit back, watch, and be informed. Your host is Laban Bethi.
All right, a very good evening. My name is Brian Mouse, standing in for Laban Bibi. It is a season we are talking issues, career, and growth. Now, today we are discussing a specific topic: how to identify a course, rather how to choose a course that you want to do. Now, if you are somebody who had done his Form 4, or maybe you're somebody who is waiting to join a university or a college, this is a show that you don't have to miss. My guests are already in studio. They'll introduce themselves. I'll begin from the far left.
How are you? My name is Martin Donio. It's always a pleasure to be on this set and to come and share wisdom and to share experiences that are aimed at making your life better. And I believe that that is what you're going to achieve in this particular show.
Thank you, my brother.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Isaac Kitana, and I'm so happy to be here today. It's quite some time, but I'm happy that I'm back and will be able to share more and matters youth, the issues that we're going through as young people. And I believe in this show we're going to have somebody getting help. We're going to have make an impact in the life of somebody. Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you for coming. I'll begin with you, Mr. Martin. Just briefly, for somebody who maybe have forgotten, can you please help us the definition of career growth?
That is what we covered in the last episode.
Sure.
And we said that it has to have, it is tied to a period, and then it has to have an aspect of progression, so that within a specified period of time, we have to be seen to be moving from one stage to another stage. And that is what career growth is all about. Yes.
And just back to you, Martin, there is a specific question that I want to ask you. What did you study in your tertiary level of education? And what are you practicing today? In less than 5 words, please.
I went to the university to do a bachelor's degree in education arts with a bias in English and literature. That is what I've done, I think, for the last 8 years now. Although currently that is not what I'm pursuing. Yes.
What are you pursuing?
Business.
Why?
Because at the end of it all, I think I got to a point and I weighed some aspects of my life. And I realized that though I was very passionate about impacting the young people, the education system as is, for me, I felt it was a bit limiting in this sense. There's a course, there's what we call the curriculum for you to follow. There's specific things that aren't needed in the syllabus. And so outside English and literature, there isn't so much else that you can offer. It's a bit limiting for me, that's what I'd say. And so And of course, there were so many other things that happened in between. But then after some evaluation, I felt that I was not actualizing what I'd envisioned. And even having had a slight background in the NGO world, where I interacted with students at different levels with different programs, I felt that the curriculum was a bit limiting in my view for those specific things that I'd intend in terms of student empowerment or young people empowerment.
All right. Back to you, Mr. Isaac. What did you study in your tertiary level of education?
I did finance and banking. As a course.
Okay. What are you practicing?
Doing something related to that. A bit of accounting and still finance. Yeah.
So we can say that a course that you chose is somehow related to what you're doing today.
Yeah, it is.
And so back to you, Mr. Martin. Now, you said that you realized that you're not actualizing what you envisioned from your exact words. Can we say that you chose a wrong course?
Not really. Maybe just to take you back a bit. When I finished my Form 4, I wanted to go and pursue law. At that time, the grade did not allow. The cutoff was slightly higher than it is right now. My dad thought I should pursue BCom. And so there was a bit of a tussle there, to the point where I was told, no problem, you can go and pursue law for as long as you pay for yourself. You know? And then in the process, once, actually that is the same year when the government for the first time reduced the cutoff point for university. So whereas I did not initially qualify for university because I did not meet the cutoff was 69 for boys, I had 67. When the government reduced the cutoff point to 67, then I got a chance there. Now, remember, this was after the first batch had already reported in August 28th, thereabout. So this was in September. So with the cutoff, and it's almost like a favor that is being extended, I didn't have much of a choice.
Yeah.
So the choices I had to take education. Actually, was it, or did I choose, or was it already chosen? I think it was. I think I received a letter that I was supposed to go to Maseno and pursue education.
Yeah.
So what remained for me to do is to choose what particular subjects to pursue. It was never my intention. It was never in my interests. Ironically, because both of my parents were teachers, but it never was. So to say it was a wrong course, I don't think so, because eventually I think the 4 years allowed me to discover another aspect of me that I did not know. Because I think I wanted to do law because I was very noisy and argumentative, so I thought I could fit. I'm not sure whether it still fit.
Yeah.
But it was not really the wrong course. I think the kind of training that I got in teaching applies even today outside the classroom. Some particular courses like psychology cuts across.
Yeah.
Yes, so it was not really the wrong course. I think yes. Let me stop at that first.
Okay, back to you, Isaac. Now, it is a time that students are preparing to join universities and colleges.
Yeah.
And to the main topic, how do somebody choose a right course? Like, how do you realize that now this is the path, this is the career path that I want to follow? You said that you did finance, and you're working in a finance-related field. How did it work for you? Like, how did you realize that finance is what I want to pursue?
I will answer it this way. Choosing a career path, there are a number of things that you have to consider. Like your passion, the passion, the talent. You always find some interest in working, anything that is related to that, your passion. So it becomes easy to pursue such as a career. So if you can further that in education, then you always find yourself in the right track. There are other things to consider. We're talking of today jobs. There are careers that, yes, when you go after you are done with the education period, there are few chances, opportunities for job. There are some others that are, yes, immediately you get out, the market is waiting for you.
Just to cut you, hold the next point. Which are these courses that if you get out, the opportunities are waiting for you?
The opportunity. Today we are a digital world, and anything to do with technology is a big door waiting for you. And I will not be specific that this and this now, but I will say anything to do with technology, there is a big market out there waiting for you. Yeah.
Okay, Martin, Isaac, do you hold the point that Isaac has that a course like IT will eventually give you an opportunity? Do you have the same thought as Isaac? Or do you have a
Yes,
different opinion?
eventually any course will give you an opportunity, eventually. Now, how long eventually happens is the question.
Yeah.
And I think that is the big question, even in today's discussion. So I choose this course, and then I come out here. When does the big opportunity or the big break come? That's the question. And if you remember, even in our last episode, we talked about sometimes people even volunteering for a while before you can actually get a breakthrough, so to speak, in your career growth. So I think that's where the question is, because I know of people that, for example, in the teaching fraternity, most people go in as board of management employees, BOM. Some stay there for a long while, you know, and a long while could mean more than 5 years before they get their break into TSC. So they eventually, and others only do a year, and then they get their big break. So eventually depends on quite a number of things. That, for example, I know of people that will volunteer, will offer to volunteer with UN agencies, any of them, though it's very competitive, and for some reason you get there. And simply because you are in there, then you are able to access even the internal advertisements. And within a very short time, when another person is still tamakin, this other person is rising through the ranks. So it's a different storyline for everybody. The question is, how long is your eventually, and how strong are you to wait for that big break? Yes.
Now, Mr. Isaac spoke of a talent factor, a passion factor. Like if you want to realize a career that will eventually favor you, you have to consider your talent, you have to consider your career. But Isaac, remember, there is something that Martin said, a parent factor. You know, where you have this talent and your parents want you to do this specific thing. Now, there is somebody out here who has just done his Form 4 or is waiting to join a university or a college. But there is this parent factor. Now, how do you handle that?
We have different parents. And,
okay, first, did your parents choose for you a course or you chose it by yourself?
I think we did it together. Yeah. Like.
Did you have the same thoughts?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were lucky.
Yeah.
Very
lucky. And that's why I'm saying parents are different.
Yeah, sure.
So you'll find a parent will just give you, like, just tell you, do your thing. Bring whatever you want to do, we'll support it. The other parents will tell you, like, no, this is a field. All of us, I'm a doctor, your mom is a doctor. So everybody in this family has to become a doctor. Nothing less than that. So you find in yourself in a such family, it's very tricky, especially when you feel like you want to pursue something different, probably with the other reasons, more weightier reasons.
Yeah.
But because you find yourself in such a family, it may be so hard for you to convince them. But I still believe there is a way. I know there are people who have gone the parents' way, and after the 4-year course, they go back to their parents and tell them, I'm done with your degree. Now I want to pursue my thing.
Yeah, very unfortunate.
Of which at time it looked like it's a time wasted. And that's why we need, even as we're talking also to the parents, not only to the youth, where they can also give the room for these young people to do what they, like they can reason together. Help them, guide them as a parent.
Yeah.
Tell them these are the opportunities ahead, and help them within what they feel. Because you see, there is that which is within me. And there's the way you cannot see my mind. There are things that I want to pursue, or the things that I want to do. It's unless I tell them to you. You bring in what you think is good for me, may be harmful to me today or in future. So I feel there is need to have a lot of engagement, parents and the children, to help them pursue their career, where they just give them freedom with some guidance.
Imagine now that you pass through this, where you have to balance between your thought and your parents' thought, and you've seen the results eventually. Now, what can you advise a student who is going through the same thing you went through, where your parent is choosing for you a course, or rather wanting you to do a specific course that they know that is good for that case?
My dad was pushing me to BCom. He had consulted around on which course is marketable at that time. And people were saying, BCom, even if you don't get a job, you'll end up being self-employed. I don't know how self-employed, but you see? And so I think at the end of the day, it is a matter of, like Isaac is saying, striking a balance. You know why? Even if you insist on pursuing your own career choice, who is going to pay that school fees? Like I was told, you pursue your law, no problem. And at that time I was going to do it parallel, self-sponsored. So you go and pay the school fees, no problem. So at the end of the day, I think it's very important, even like Isaac is saying, that you're talking to both the parent and the student. It's important to strike that balance, because you'll also be surprised that sometimes the parents' idea of your career choice ends up being the right one. You see? So it's not an all-loss affair. At the end of the day, if you can all reason together. By the way, where I sit now, I have come to realize the importance of the CPAs that I was being pushed towards. I've come to realize right now, by the way, if you're good at accounting, and then you have some element of IT with you, you are a very dangerous person in today's world.
Sure.
You see? So at the end of the day, what they were pushing, maybe it was not in me, but at the end of the day, it is just as good.
Sure.
So let us push towards striking a balance. As a student, as a youth, you don't have to rebel and say, you know, my life, my choice. Both the parent and the student tone it down, reason together. Eventually what comes out of it is the best for the learner, for the parent, and even for society. Yes.
But Martin, still on the same, there is an argument that most youths today have, and they say that time has changed. Because, you know, when you look at social media, you read people's stories, you realize there are so many people who were pushed to do certain courses, but they change without their parents' knowledge. They're doing so well. Of course, there are some that are not doing well, but we don't know.
Yeah.
They will only air those who are doing well. Does that point really valid? Like, times has changed. I'm a student who want to do, you know, hairdressing, and my parents want me to do accounting. Why? Because then, their period, lack of a better word, or their season, these things were not marketable. But today, you know, people use comedy to get money, which wasn't the case then. Is the point valid?
Very. And particularly for such careers which are non-conventional, so to speak. Conventional would be, at some point, nursing was the in thing for most of our parents. Then teaching.
Yeah, sure.
Then you had to be a doctor, a pilot.
Yeah.
Even when you are growing up, what do you want to become? A pilot or an engineer. If it is none of those, then you're not serious with life. But truth is, today, people are getting paid. I know of a young man that went and did DJing, earning his good money. You see? So yes, for non-conventional courses and career choices, very valid. That if a parent will dismiss a course in hairdressing, fashion and design, what else? Comedy. There are those, the new, so to speak, new generational career choices. Then it is valid that the parent is wrong. But even then, they still have their point. You know, they still have their point because maybe they have not perceived hairdressing as a career that can create even jobs and make you an employer and own an industry.
But is it true that, is it really true that hairdressing and such cannot make you an employer?
It can make you. I was listening, I don't know if I mentioned it last time, but I was listening to a lady called Akinyi, can't remember the second name. She failed in her O-levels. Failed, what we call failed. You know, D and below. And then, because now there was nothing for her to do as per societal standards, she took up what the mother used to do as a tailor. The mother used to have a sewing machine at home. Right now, I think I mentioned it last time, she is a brand that is recognized internationally, even having head of state commendation. Tailor, who made something out of it, became a fashion designer. So, very valid. Comedy can get you to where the likes of Churchill are, you know, and you become an influence in society. So it is not enough just to say because a course is not conventional, it is not common, it is something new, that it is not worth pursuing.
So I get back to you, Mr. Isaac. Now, Martin is talking about conventional and non-conventional courses.
Yeah.
Now, here reach a point when you want to do a conventional course, and your parent wants you to do an unconventional course. Now, from your own point of view, how do you convince this parent that, you know, this is what I need to do? From your own point of view.
I think we have examples of people who have excelled
True.
in this line that probably want to pursue, and your parents are not aware of them. So I think you just need to bring your argument on table. Can you put this thing on table? The reason why they are pushing it to that direction, and you bring your side of the story that I want to pursue this because of this and this. And in that, you see, every decision we make, or every action anybody does, or anything that we do, is out of the information or knowledge that you have. So the information that they have is what makes them push you towards that direction. So, and the reason why you want to pursue that course is because there is knowledge you have, or some information that you have concerning the field that you want to pursue. So if you bring it on table, and also they can bring they can bring their point, and you feel like, yeah, I think I had not seen it this way. So you can also consider pursuing their path, in as much as you had your own. But there is a part that you never knew until they brought it on table. So I think it's good at least we have a balance where everybody brings their point, and we are able to, okay, just weigh and see which is weightier. And for that case, you're the final decision maker that this, I feel like I need to pursue this. So I think just bring in an argument and in a right way. Yeah.
Okay, there's something that you mentioned before, and I just wanted to expound on it now. It is a time when you're looking for a cause.
Yeah.
And you're looking for this marketable cause. You know. Now, how do I know that a cause is marketable?
I think it's just by, we have examples out there, and we are able to see the trends. And the reason why I mentioned technology, I know every cause has a market. At the end of the day, you will find people everywhere. Because as long as there is a need somewhere, and somebody comes to fill that need, then that's an opportunity. So you'll find people in agriculture, you'll find people somewhere in offices. So everywhere you'll find people. So the trends, you're able to study and know which is like the most, the current business or a cause that will earn you like almost immediately. Like when you get out, like you're very sure, almost very sure, like once I get out, tamakin will not be that much. The online thing, today you don't have to be employed. You start your thing. Today I was watching a guy, I can't remember his name. He's never been employed. He went to university, and I think he did something management, but he has never gone to any office to ask for that. He was just observing his friends doing stuff in school, and he identified an opportunity. Just identifying a topic and something going on in our country, and he just began to speak about it. And when you go to his social media platform, you'll find so many followings. He's being followed by so many people, just speaking about nothing, sometimes something good. And he's earning something out of that. And he's never gone to school to do that. So I'm saying there is a lot of, because today everybody, we are connecting through social media or platform, or you are able to sell everything that you have, even what is in your mind, you'll just sell it there. So I'm saying the technology is really helping us finding a lot of opportunities.
How far should we passion? Because you realize that there are so many people that are in the IT world. There are so many students, even from the beginning of your course. I think the first place that a student gets some experience is when he goes for attachment. But to realize that there are so many IT students who cannot even find an attachment, you know. And there are some who, even after finishing school, they end up opening cybers and, you know, phone kiosks. How far should be your passion?
Your passion should be going beyond, number one, it should be first help you. Oh, let me put it this way. Your passion should be carrying something, patience inside. That you need to be very patient. Because at time when you're pursuing a career, you may not get into immediate earning. So that's why patience is very key. And that's why the passion is able to carry the passion for some while before it begins to realize some earning. But if you lack patience, then your passion, it means it's a bit low. The Bible somewhere, we are believers. I don't know about you. I am. I am too. So I think it's in Proverbs. It says, when you fail in the day of your adversary, then your strength is small. So there are times of testing to know how strong you are, how deep you are into this thing, how much you love this thing. And if you are able to stand at that moment, then it tells that I really love this thing. I really love this person. For those who are in relationship, now those time, the testing moment. So that's the moment when you know how deep your passion is. So even in career, that it works the same. That there are moments when I love this thing. I love doing this thing. So you will pursue it despite the economic challenges. Probably it's not bringing money immediately, but because you love it. With the time, you are able to grow. And at the end of some time, you begin to see results. Yeah.
Martin, do you have different thoughts on that?
Not really different, but maybe just to add a different perspective. Sometimes we hide ourselves behind passion, and we fail to be diligent enough to pursue through. So yes, there is passion, but remember, at the end of the day, you need to eat.
Sure.
Of course.
At the end of the day, there are some bills to be met. So let us not just hide behind passion, but let us be holistic in our approach to career choice. Passion is important, very key, because what Isaac is talking about, the days of testing, sometimes it's passion that will carry you through. But at the end of the day, let us be practical with our choices. I love cooking, fine. But then, will that cooking put food on the table other than what you've cooked? You know? Will it provide a livelihood for you? Okay? Yes, I love swimming, for example, whatever else. Especially now the non-conventional career choices. That's where people say, I am passionate about this. I like
sharing football.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, ask yourself, how practical and sustainable is it as a livelihood? Because career choices is about livelihoods. Can it sustain you financially? Can it meet your financial needs? So passion is key. It should be one of the aspects that guides you. But then be more practical. Passion, how sustainable is it? How possible is it to earn a living out of the choice that you want to pursue?
And I'll add something on that. As you said, that when you're talking about career, you should not just look at one side. Like it's about passion. No. There are so many things to consider. I think that's where I began, but I did not finish my point. Yeah, there is the aspect of, number one, passion, that you love doing this thing. Because at some time it will be tested.
Yes.
it will be tested. There is the reward, or like the proceeds of what you pursue. And that's what he's talking about, livelihood. What comes out of what you're pursuing. There is also life balance. There are times we pursue a career, yes, you are earning well in that career, you love it, but you're doing it at the expense of other things.
Yeah.
So there is need also to strike a balance. Like, yes, I'm pursuing this career, but today parenting is an issue. Because the parents are so busy somewhere else. So you are earning well, pursuing the career that you love at the expense of your children. So they need to have a balance.
Yeah.
They need to have, number two, the income. There is a passion part. There is also the level of education when you're pursuing a career. The skills part. Because it's not every career that, like every career requires a different skill, it requires different level of education. So you'll not pursue to be a doctor while you just have some grades that don't qualify you to pursue that. So the level of education is also very key. So those are some of the things that you need to consider among many others. But those are very key. Yeah.
Okay, just as we finish these, Mr. Martin, I would just ask you a question. Now, here comes a moment when you realize that you've chosen a wrong career path, or you've chosen a wrong course for that case. You are in your third year, you are in your second year. How do you handle this? First, how was the transition like for you, and how do somebody handle this?
Well, transition from
being a teacher to a management function.
that one was not hard because I've always grown up in that environment. But again, when you find yourself in university and you realize that you are pursuing the wrong course. You need a lot of grace. Because now imagining you're in your third year and then all of a sudden you realize, I think I'm in the wrong path.
Yeah.
Because it's a little too late for you to make any amends per se. Although I know there are people that have really tried to do that, but at a big cost. But then my question would be, what made you realize at third year or second year that you're on the wrong course? Because that would be the real question now.
Yeah.
So for those that might be harboring doubts, am I really on the right career path? I would say this: if you are advanced, you are beyond first year, just pursue it to the end. Why? Because at times, not at all times, but at times, you could be acting on misleading information. There's a hype that has come up in a different career choice, and you feel like you made a mistake.
Yeah.
There are waves in every season, and there are waves in every market. So, just like we are saying, there used to be an in thing with nursing, an in thing with teaching, an in thing with engineering. Those are seasons. So if you're at that point where you think maybe you made a wrong choice, unless you're in first year, and even that first year, I'd really want you to really consider, why am I changing? Otherwise, just pursue it to the end. If you have to make any amends, make it afterwards. Yes. And don't try to be a Bill Gates or Zuckerberg.
Besides, like, do you have different...
Unless you are very sure of what you're doing.
No, it's not a different thing. Like, but just to add on what you said, it's a very weird moment when you find yourself in such a situation, like you're in a third year or even fourth year, and you want to change your course. It's very tricky.
It is.
But you see, it happens even in career, like people who are already employed. Like you're already in you are worked for a year and you feel, no, this is not the line that I. So before I say this or I continue this, there's also other thing that you also need to consider when you are choosing a career, the long-term goals. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years, 10 years?
Yeah.
Because that determines what you need to carry or what the course you need to pursue for you to become that thing in the next 10 years. So you're not just, I want to become a chief accountant somewhere, and today you're doing teaching, tomorrow I want to do something else. That is different, not according to the line that you are, or the place where you're seeing yourself in the next 5 years. So if you know where you're going, and you will be able to align all the resources towards, to be able to facilitate you to get where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
So in many times it's because we don't know where when we are changing, it's probably, chances are that we don't know where we wanted to be in the first place. Because if you know that I'm going to Nairobi, and probably find yourself in somewhere, to one day, no, I'm supposed to be going to Malindi. It means you're not sure where you are going. So it is first, the reason why we find ourselves in such situation is because we never had a plan. We never had a plan where we wanted to be. I was reading somewhere and talking about lion. Lion, when it focuses on an animal, this is my food, it will not focus on it because it's the weakest, but it believes this is my food. And even if it crosses a slower animal or a slower, it will just stick to that one until it makes sure that this becomes my food. So I feel many times we lack that determination because number one, we don't know where we're going. But in case you find yourself in such, what do? There's need to just put things down on table and analyze it, as you said. What are the reasons why making me to want to go back to something or to begin to do something else? Probably it's peer pressure. Yeah, I had such pressure. We did business management general from first year and second year. Then we do specialization in third year. Then you'd find some of your friends are going towards a course, marketing, we have insurance, others are going to finance, accounting. So you see most of your friends are going towards a certain course. So you also want to join them because most of them are going this way. So I think there is a lot of pressure, especially for those that are in school. But in case you find yourself in such, just sit down, put things down and soberly, be sober. Make the decision when you are sober. But he said the best advice is just keep going till the end. If probably you are in those last stages where you turning back would be more harmful to you than even doing good. So in such case, please do until you finish. Then, but one thing I believe in life, the direction might be wrong, but the experience is should not be wasted.
Sure.
You find yourself going to town and you're in a wrong direction. The path you are walking along, please get to learn something from it, extract something. You have used a longer way to get where you wanted to go, but please, can you see something good along that path? Extracting something good. So I feel there's need to be able, out of every experience, the good and bad ones, extract something good for yourself.
And if you're following the same path can still end up taking you to where you want it to be.
It can.
So, Martin, lastly, do you think somebody can merge, let's say you're doing an IT course and you realize that you have a passion somewhere else, rather realize that what you thought this course is about is not what it is. Is it possible to use the experience that you have here to reach the destination that you wanted to be?
He said it very clearly, and yes, let me tell you, the truth is, most of the tertiary education we acquire is simply to make us competitive in the job market, so that when they are doing elimination, you are among the few that will be considered. So, assuming you took a course, for example, because I know of a lady that did computer science, and she's never used it since she graduated. She's in PR, very good in PR. So what do? You go and pursue a short course in PR. The degree made you competitive in the job market, you got that job. Then you realized, I'm very good in PR. Another one, she did a course in HR. She still is in HR, but now she has found that she's more interested in HR in the hospitality industry. So what is she now pursuing? She's pursuing matters to do with more specific to hospitality. Now those are the courses that she's building on.
Yeah.
So yes, you might be on the wrong path. Learn from the experience, then amend using short courses that will make you more cutting edge and more competitive when now you have realized that this is the line I want to pursue.
All right, now this is JM Studios, and we say that JM Studios is the mouthpiece of Christ. Now 07397620 is our number. If you have any question, please call us, ask your question, drop your comment down there, share and like our pages. Now, Mr. Martin, your one last word for somebody who is just about to join his university or college.
I know this is a very important moment that you have, that you're going to make a very important decision. It is not always very easy, and like I've shared even from my own experience, sometimes it is not going to be utterly your decision. It may be influenced by other people and by other circumstances, but the most important thing, whether you're going to pursue a certificate course, because maybe that's what your grade can give. And by the way, particularly for those people that feel like they failed in their KCSE, start where you can. Start with that crafts certificate and build up, because there's no stopping you. And at the end of the day, whatever path you choose, stick to it, learn the most out of it, make the best out of it. Eventually, no experience is lost. And whatever opportunity you get to learn, learn. But to the best of your ability, make a choice that is well informed, that is well guided, and like we have shared on this show, that is grounded on principle and values, so that even if you have to make amends, they don't have to be painful, but they have to be for the good of everyone, and more so yourself. And of course, I wish you all the best.
Thank you, Mr. Isaac. Your partition.
Yeah. I want first to congratulate them as they transit to the next stage. And I just want to tell them that the future is bright for everybody who, a person who is full of hope, there is a future for you. So let them make an informed decision, as Martin has said, that making that decision that is informed, you must gather information. Please have a priority list, that this is what I want to do, even 3 to 4 courses. If like you're not very sure, please put them on table, gather information from either parents, your friends, from wherever. Just gather information about those courses that you want to pursue. And then I believe you'll be able to do the right choice. After that, also considering what you've been able to say when you are choosing your career, I believe it will help you. So I wish you all the best as you do that, and may the Lord lead you in such times. Yeah.
Or there's a saying that goes that still waters runs deep. and this only applies for waters that goes through a specific channel. Now, ocean is one of the largest natural resources. I think is as big as the eye can see, but holds the strongest waves ever. What do I mean? That is always the epitome of force. Don't stop where you are. Keep going. This is JM Studios, and my name is Brian Moses, standing in for Laban Bibi. Till next time. Bye-bye.
How can a young person be consistent on a purpose? How can a young person...
You see a person doing or behaving a certain way. It is out of information. You dress like you think.
Yeah.
You talk like you think. Out of what is inside here, the fullness within here, that's what the mouth speaks.
Yeah.
So what you have in your head, you behave like that.
What do you understand by social media?
Yeah, social media, it's a platform, it's a connecting platform.
Right.
Just as the word goes, social media, it's a platform for mostly socializing. It's a media of exchanging information.
To be inspired, be ready to be transformed, be ready to get something great, something that is going to change you. Be ready to receive a word for you.